but still some very heavy rain here in the Tell City area and also to the north of Hawesville too. There's a loop of that again for the next 15 minutes at least as we have that warning in effect. Let's go ahead and take a broader view of the entire viewing area really quick so we can see what could be coming behind this. And there is another little area of rotation back there near Owensboro we'll be watching. There's that severe weather, that severe thunderstorm warning until 11 Central Time for Davies and Spencer's counties. That's not in our viewing area, but nevertheless, we're still having that strong thunderstorm making its way into our area. And southern Indiana, north of I-64, nothing severe for you either in central Washington County and Orange County, just some heavy rain and quite a bit of lightning and thunder. All right, let's go ahead and zoom back down on that tornado warning, and we'll pause radar as well, and we'll put back on our velocity so we can see where that area of rotation is that we're keeping an eye on here. And we'll also get another storm track on it. So it's this location right here. It's making its way towards Tell City at the moment. Leopold, you're also in this tornado warning. So let's put that cone right there on that center between the red and the blue, and we'll drag that northward. It's moving at about 70 miles per hour to the east and northeast. And as we go ahead and let go of that, we'll see our tornado. It'll be arriving near the Tell City Junior High School at about 10:34 p.m. Rodalia about 11:49 Eastern Time. Elder School about 10:48 p.m. Central Time. Dodd at around 10:37 Central, and near Alton at 11:52 p.m. Central Time. So go ahead and take your tornado safety precautions. You want to get down to the lowest level, most interior portion of whatever building you're in, away from outside walls and windows. And even if you aren't experiencing any tornadoes, you could still have some very strong wind gusts because, as I've been saying, our damaging wind gust potential is fairly high, and that's something else we're going to be relatively concerned with. And Christina, just for the sake of safety, let's throw on our debris tracker as well, because I just want to be sure that we don't have anything actually causing damage that may actually be reaching the ground right there. And I don't see anything that would indicate any debris, which is good news.
There also have not been any reports of any sort of damage thus far.
Okay, that's good, of course. And a lot of times, if there is damage, those reports can be delayed before they actually make it into the National Weather Service. So that's something we'll just keep an eye on. Let's go back to our velocity view. That's really going to show you best where the areas of rotation is. And it's this area right here where you have this little red and that green and blue kind of touching each other. That's what we're going to be watching, and that's where that area of rotation is. If there was a potential tornado, it would be in this location. So Christina, right there where it says 657, let's pull out just a little bit. And then right where it says 657, put the start of that cone track there and drag it up to the northeast, and we'll find some other locations that'll be in the path of this storm. And then we'll go over some of those tornado safety tips as well, because again, severe weather at night, it's dangerous, and it's not something that we want to have to deal with. And unfortunately, we are familiar with the nighttime severe weather events in Kentucky and southern Indiana. So it'll be near Tell City at 10:36 p.m. So that's in about 6 minutes. Tell City Junior High at 10:37, Gatchel 10:43, Leopold 10:48. Those are all in Central Time. We do have our far western counties are in Central Time. They are technically 1 hour behind us. Rodalia at about 11:52 Eastern Time. You can actually see here where Tell City Junior High School is. There's Gatchel, there's Leopold, and there is Rodalia. That's off to the farthest east, but not included in that warning. And it looks like we just got a new radar scan as well. So it's still this area right here that's just to the southwest of Tell City, about to cross into our viewing area that has that tornado warning that's in effect until 10:45 p.m. Central Time. So we have roughly about another 15 minutes with that, and we'll stay on the air with you for as long as that tornado warning is issued. Let's go ahead and thank you. We'll put that into motion right now, and it's that area right there. It's about to cross the Ohio River just to the south of Tell City. So if you are in Tell City, you're probably experiencing some very strong winds right now, and you're also experiencing some of that very heavy rain. There's quite a bit of lightning and thunder with this too. Christina, let's pause this again and then get our query tool, and we'll check out what some of those radar estimated wind speeds could be near that area of rotation. So just click around some of that area right there, and we'll see how fast some of those wind speeds could be. You'll need to take off the tornado warnings, unfortunately. So just click off there to your right, and then go back and start clicking again. So we have maybe about 16 miles per hour wind speed there. Up near Tell City, about 31 miles per hour. back to the southwest, we might see some more speeds around 26 miles per hour. So those wind speeds aren't too high, but nevertheless, there is still some rotation there that we're going to be watching fairly closely. There's a 54-mile-per-hour wind speed. And actually put this back into motion because I want to see the evolution of this rotation, because it could be that it's weakened a little bit. I think it has. Clear off that box, please, if you don't mind. And as we look back towards south of Rockport, that's where it was fairly strong, and now it's weakened quite a bit as it's pushed off to the east. And that's kind of what I was telling you earlier. As these storms continue to move to the east, they're going to enter an environment that's not quite as favorable for that severe weather. So let's pause this and put that warning back on, and also keep an eye on chat to see if we have anything new there, any new information, if they are maybe noticing something that I don't see. Could also have another little secondary area of rotation just to the south of Rockport. Again, that's not in our viewing area. But let's leave radar paused here, but that scrubber at the very top, move that all the way back to the left. And I want to go step by step here to see how exactly that this storm has progressed. So up there at the very top where the move to your left. Here, I'll step off really quick. Right up here, we're going to move back here and just slowly click and drag that through, and then we'll get a better idea of how that rotation has evolved as it pushed into our area. So you can see it started down here south of Evansville, really started to get its rotation together. Actually, excuse me, that was a separate area. It was still south of Evansville, started to get stronger as it moved towards Owensboro. That's when they issued that tornado warning, and thankfully we have noticed it starting to weaken a bit as it continues to push eastward. Still have that area of rotation right there, those greens and reds indicating the wind speeds that are moving toward or away from the radar. And now this latest radar image really looks like that area of rotation has weakened quite a bit, but we still have this little secondary one right here near Owensboro. We're going to keep an eye on that one too. So let's go to the latest radar scan, and we'll zoom in a little bit closer just to the southwest of Tell City, and we'll see where that rotation is. There's our regular radar view. You can see some very heavy rain there near Grandview. Also in Tell City, that tornado warning until 10:45 p.m. Central Time, Breckenridge, Hancock, and Perry counties. Currently don't see any of that rotation in Breckenridge County. It's actually kind of just to the south of Tell City, so it is in Breckenridge County, but Tell City is the one that's more in the line of danger here with this storm at the moment. Let's go back to velocity, please, and we will put another storm track on this. It's that area right there that we're watching. We'll pull out just a little bit so we can see a bit more of the area, because this is, it's not relatively close to the metro area, but it is moving in that direction. So I want to see when we could get those arrival times in Leavenworth and Amsterdam. It's still moving at about 70 miles per hour, which is very quick. But that also does not give you much lead time to go ahead and take shelter. And of course, since it's nighttime, people could be sleeping. So it's not a bad idea if you know somebody that lives in the path of this storm to go ahead and wake them up, call them if you can, and let them know that this storm is headed in their direction. Rodalia about 10:45 p.m. Eastern time, so within about the next 10 minutes. New Amsterdam, 11:53 Eastern time. You are not in that tornado warning, but this storm is still heading in your direction. Also near Andyville, that'll be arriving in Andyville, your community, about 11:47 p.m. Eastern time. You can also see where that cutoff is between Central Time and Eastern Time here, because Chinook, 10:41 Central Time, but Andyville is 11:47 Eastern Time. Let's clear off that track really quickly, because we did get in that new radar scan while I was standing here, and this is that rotation. It's moved off to the east of Tell City now, so that's giving you an idea of how quickly these storms are moving. And it does not look quite as tight as it was before. When I say tight, we don't really have a well-defined like blues and reds right next to each other, which is a good thing, because that means the storm could be weakening a little bit, but it could also mean that it's cycling as well. So sometimes when a storm cycles, you'll have really strong rotation, it'll weaken a little bit, and then it'll tighten back up again a little bit later as it enters a more favorable environment. Let's put this into motion, please. Over the last hour, you can get a better idea of just how quickly it has moved. And yes, that area of rotation has weakened quite a bit. But still, if you're in southern Perry County, go ahead and be in your safe space. That's, again, the lowest level, most interior portion of whatever room you're in. In fact, Christina, pull up that graphic, please. of the tornado safety, just so you know where exactly you should be taking shelter right now. So you want to find that sturdy shelter away from windows, preferably your basement, but if you can't get into a basement, an interior closet or an interior bathroom that does not have any windows will be a good spot. If you are near a mobile home, if you live in a mobile home or know somebody that does, they also need to get out of their home and find sturdier shelter beforehand as that storm is headed towards you. Of course, you want to have that severe weather safety kit, first aid, a flashlight, candles in the event that you lose power, and have your cell phone charged. Maybe even if you have an external battery pack, that's extra great in case you have an extended period of time without any power. And if you need to, cover up with any pillows, blankets, or anything to block potential debris. But thankfully, we don't have any confirmation of a tornado right now. All right, let's go back to Max HD radar and we'll check out our velocity mode again on that storm. We'll see if it's continued to weaken just a little bit. And thankfully, I don't see any other warnings at the moment, but this is still that area right here that we're watching. It's in south central Perry County, moving at 70 miles per hour. And have you heard anything on chat, Christina, about them possibly issuing a new warning downstream of this one?
No, chat's been pretty quiet. I'm sure that they're seeing the same thing that we are. It doesn't look near as impressive as it did even just 5 minutes ago. But what I'm seeing happening is it's kind of pulsing, so it won't. Will look tight with a radar scan, and then it will kind of start to fall apart, come back together. And sometimes with these sort of storms, they do pulsate in nature there. So that's what we're paying a close attention to. They are continuing the warning for its duration, it appears, at this point until 10:45 Central Time. And I just asked meteorologist Sam Gabrielle if he was seeing any sort of chat on Twitter, and everything's pretty quiet, which honestly, no news is good news at this point.
All right, and Sam Gabrielle is actually doing a Facebook and YouTube live right now, so we can answer any viewer comments that you might have. So you can head to our WHAS 11 Facebook or WHAS 11 YouTube page as well, and you can ask questions there if they are needed. Let's go back to our regular radar view, and we'll also take a view of our entire viewing area so we can see what else is ongoing at the moment and what else could also be headed our way. So in southern Indiana, nothing is severe right now. You just have some run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. In fact, Christina, click on lightning because I'm curious to see how many lightning strikes there are with this, because these are somewhat loud thunderstorms too, with all of these lightning strikes that we are experiencing. So 30-minute lightning count, actually really not too many lightning strikes, only about 154, which is a lot, but within the last 30 minutes, it's kind of intermediate, you could say. Nevertheless, these could be somewhat loud, and again, nothing is severe here in southern Indiana outside of that tornado warning there in Perry County. South of the river, we do have another little line here that is entering our western portions of Breckinridge County that'll be moving into central Breckinridge County, but those also are not severe at the moment, which is good news. Let's pull back out again and we'll pan a little bit more to the west because we are going to be watching the secondary line here that's starting to cross the Illinois-Indiana state line. Those have severe thunderstorm warnings. Pan a little bit more to the west and we'll get that Evansville radar, which will be able to scan those storms just a little bit better. Keep going a little bit more.
And also, Alden, good news here. Dewey, our producer, was just able to get off the phone with Breckinridge Dispatch and ask them about any sort of damage reports, and none that they're aware of at this point.
That's always good news. And this never was a confirmed tornado. It was just radar indicated rotation, but nevertheless, we still have to go on air with you to alert you of that danger. So Christina has panned over to the west a bit more now. We're looking at the Evansville radar. We're also looking at this line of storms that's in extreme eastern Illinois, about to cross over into Indiana. Let's put this into motion really quick, and we'll see the evolution of that. It looks like it's maybe not quite as strong as it has been, but you see this little thin line right there. That's an outflow boundary, so we'll be watching to see if that outflow boundary potentially allows some more thunderstorms to pulse up or intensify, but sometimes you can also have an outflow boundary that will kind of kill a storm as well, which would be a good thing. All right, let's get back down here to Perry County. We'll switch back to our velocity mode as well. well so we can check out those wind speeds. And we'll also put another track on this as well to see what exactly, or rather when exactly, it could be moving into your neighborhood. And I don't really see any areas of rotation like we had before. It's 11:41 p.m. currently. This warning goes for another 4 minutes. So if they haven't issued anything else downstream, that's good news because they don't think that maybe this storm is going to maintain its health again. So very good news there, but we still have some fairly strong winds. If there was that area of rotation, I'm going to say it would be right here, about to cross back into extreme northern portions of Breckenridge County. So Leopold, that rotation is well to your south at the moment. But let's go ahead and put another storm track on this, Christina, for 70 miles per hour, because that storm is going to be headed into parts of Harrison County as well as Meade County here. So she's going to drag this out there at 70 miles per hour. It's going to move in fairly quickly. So we'll see this here in New Amsterdam at does not, well, didn't pick up on New Amsterdam, but Mockport, you'll see it in Mockport around 11:55, so about that same time for New Amsterdam. Corden, it's probably going to move just to the south of you, but you're still going to have some fairly heavy rain moving in. So Corden at 12:03 a.m. Eastern Time, Valley Station at 12:11 Eastern Time, of course, that is at Metro Louisville. Let's go back to our normal radar view really quickly, just so we can see where that heavy rain is. And okay, so let's put this into motion as well, and we'll see how this has also evolved here over the last 30 minutes or so. Still fairly strong, and we still have some fairly gusty winds, but you also want to notice that it's a fairly thin line of storms as well. I'm going to step off the radar here really quick, Christina. I'm going to grab a control here just for a second. So I'm going to turn off those auto queries because they are taking up a little bit of space. And I'm also going to get us back down here near Tell City, because even though that warning is going to expire soon, we are still going to be looking at any other possible rotation. And thankfully, there might be something there just to the southwest of Hawesville, just to the northwest of Chambers, but I don't see anything again that looks too concerning at the moment. That would be maybe a secondary area of rotation, but as of right now, I'm not as concerned with that, thankfully. So let's go ahead and back out and we can see more of Perry County in particular. Not even actually a severe thunderstorm warning for that area, but that is going to be another location that we're watching. Don't really see that area of rotation here anymore in southern Perry County, which is good news. And switching back to reflectivity mode, we'll see those thunderstorms that are still pushing through that are going to be relatively strong at the moment as we look at max HD radar. So that's going to continue to push off to the east, pull out a little bit more, so we'll clear those boxes off of there, and then we'll put this into motion as well and see just how quickly this entire line is moving. Pull out just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, now put this into motion for the next, for the last hour. I'm trying to see if we have any noticeable weakening, and I do see that in southern Indiana. I've been saying after it passes I-65, the environment's not going to be as favorable. Still have some pretty strong thunderstorms near the Indianapolis metro area, but those should also be weakening as they push east of I-65. So right now, really the strongest area of thunderstorm activity that we have is in Perry County with that tornado warning that should be expiring here fairly soon. And Christina, check chat too if you see anything new over there. So it's this thin line right here. Then we'll be watching the secondary line back towards Indiana near Mount Carmel as that continues to push east as well. And we'll see if those will be able to maintain their strength as they push into our southern Indiana communities too. And
Alden, nothing on the ongoing tornado warning at this point from the National Weather Service chat. However, special weather statement for our southern Indiana counties here. Of course, as we've been watching, it's strong thunderstorms that are along that line. Starts at 8 miles northwest of Corden to 13 miles west of Brandenburg. It's moving east at 65 miles per hour, and that's what you've been tracking here outside of the tornado warning.
All right, let's get a little bit closer to Harrison County and Breckenridge County, where we have that area you were mentioning. We'll put a track on that at 65 miles per hour. We'll put that squall track on, and you said it was moving to the east. Due east or east northeast?
East at 65 miles per hour. And also, Alden, we do have meteorologist Reed Yaden as well as John Humphreys headed out there.
All right, excellent. So we do have a field crew out there in the event that we need them. Let's put a quick track on this, as that tornado warning has now expired, by the way, which is very good news. But we'll put a track on this line right here from about Cordon towards the south of Tell City. That'll be moving east at 65 miles per hour. I just want to get some arrival times along the I-65 corridor for folks, as this line is pushing through at about the time that we said it would be, around 11 p.m. to midnight. So Christina's drawing that track on right now, and it should, at 65 miles per hour, dragged out for about 1 hour there. It'll put it in around Valley Station at 12:03, Brandenburg at about 11:54, so within about 8 minutes there. Fort Knox region at 12:18 p.m. and 12:18 a.m. and Mount Washington, Kentucky at 12:22 a.m. as well. But the good news is right now we do not have any additional tornado warnings in our area, but we are still tracking that threat for severe weather here until at least at 3 a.m. Let's pop on that tornado watch really quick and we'll see just how what the scope is of that tornado watch. It's all of these counties that are shaded in pink, and it is in effect until 3 a.m. But currently we don't have any more warnings in our viewing area, which is the good news. We'll still be here throughout the night as long as we need to be, and if there are any other warnings, we will continue to break into coverage. Stay with WHAS 11 News, and we will keep you advised.